Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sicilian Dragon. Today we're looking at the Speed Chess Championship Quarterfinal number 2. Magnus Carlsen versus Arjun Erigaisi. Actually, this is the third quarterfinal. I wasn't able to cover yesterday's Wesley So versus Hans Niemann, but Niemann won 13-10 and will advance to the semifinals. And here, Niemann is going to play the winner of Magnus Carlsen versus Arjun Erigaisi. And as you can see, Magnus Carlsen won 12-9. This is gonna be big for the chess world because these two have a rocky history. And yeah, it's gonna be in live from Paris. It's gonna be very interesting. But yeah, Carlsen beat Erigaisi. So I'm just gonna take you through one of the games that I feel that summed it up. So this is game number 14, and yeah, it's in the 3+1 section. Let's go. So Erigaisi goes with pawn to e4. Here's the modern defense. d4, taking the center. Already looking quite edgy for Erigaisi. d6, knight c3, c6, knight f3, bishop g7, bishop e3, knight f6, just developing. And now, you see, this is actually an interesting move here from Erigaisi, bishop d3, right? You can castle this way, but it's not very good, as you can see. Because just b4, and knight back, and you lose a pawn immediately. Bishop d3, which protects that pawn. Magnus castles, bishop h6, bishop g4, e5, striking in the center. The evaluation is now about plus zero point 0.4. They trade, knight d5, bishop g7, king g7, and now h4. So here it looks like Erigaisi's trying to play a pawn storm, kingside pawn storm, because Magnus has already committed to castling that side of the board. Erigaisi is still flexible. You technically can still castle kingside, but it's not very safe because h2 is very weak. h5, stopping the attack. And now knight g5, supported by the h4 pawn. And now Magnus plays queen c7. If you kick the pawn, then I'm gonna play f3. And now, if you take, I'm gonna take. And here, it's quite good. It's actually it's winning for Erigaisi after f takes g4. If you take the supposedly free pawn, it's not very. I don't like Erigaisi's attacking way more. White is way better. Anyway, knight g5, Magnus plays queen c7. Perfect. Knight takes d5 after thinking for 44 seconds. Right? Here, yeah, knight takes d5 is fine. C takes d5. Queen e3. Alright. Erigaisi still hasn't castled. Knight c6 is looking quite good for Magnus here. He goes for d4. And now queen g3. If you take this, I'm gonna kick you out with knight c6. And then I'm gonna win this pawn. Basically, that's the whole plan. Wherever you go back, I get the pawn. So queen g3. And basically, yes, maybe it is a trade of pawns, but just more active for black. Knight c6, f3, bishop d7, f4, knight b4, and now we have short castle. So it's interesting that Erigaisi opted for the short castle. The computer is fine with it. it was going to play e6, but its next move is indeed castling. And it looks weak, but the queen is guarding it in a way. The rook is opened. So I guess that's what he thought. He took 3 seconds to play this move. And now Magnus plays the only seemingly good move, knight d3. C takes d3. It makes sense, trying to keep your queen guarding it. The computer was actually more going for queen d3 on the lower depth. Now see, it says c takes d3. And now only move for Magnus that gives him the tiny advantage, bishop f5. Maybe planning to go queen c2, which is why Erigaisi plays rook c1, queen b6, queen f3, rook c8, and now knight e4. So it's already minus zero point 0.6, so it's looking quite good for Magnus. And now we see queen b7 and knight d6. It's a nice move. It's a nice move. Yeah, now Magnus's only move is queen takes f3. It's quite simple. If you don't, then you know, yeah, like it's simple as that. You're down an exchange. But Magnus takes on f3 because he's good. And now you see knight takes f5. Obviously, you're not gonna play knight takes e8 because you haven't recaptured the queen. Knight f5 takes. It's equal. e6, king f2, preparing I guess for the endgame. a5, right on target. Rook g1, that's another purpose. King h6, king d2, rook g8, takes, and now it's around -1. So Magnus is in a good position here. Now king f2 is the mistake after rook b1. And basically after rook c2, you go a4. You have that tempo. And now a3, I think this is just a losing mistake. The computer was thinking b3 and you just sacrifice the pawn. But this does create a passed pawn. I guess is what he thought. a3, rook d1 is how Magnus chose to punish it. Computer was actually thinking more of this type of thing. But yeah. Rook d1, perfect. King e2. Rook a1, you cannot stop black from winning the pawn. Rook c5, and now rook h2, and you get this one instead while defending the pawn. And now it looks like you're going to ravage the position. And here Erigaisi ran out of time, but was going to lose anyway, completely lost. This pawn is lost. If you can go like this. I mean, you can just take this as well and completely destroy the position. You're up 2 pawns. You have 2 passers. He has 1 passer. Yeah, you're just winning. So yeah, the chess world is set for a big clash. Magnus Carlsen versus Hans Niemann in the semifinal on September 6th, live from Paris. But for now, we have other things to look at. Tomorrow is Hikaru Nakamura versus Jean Nepomniachtchi. The final quarterfinal. I'll be covering that. We'll see what happens. Winner will play Faruja in the in the semifinals. A lot to be excited for. See you next time.